This is the Angel Connect podcast show, episode number 4. Hall Martin interviews Suhas Patil of TiECon at the TiECon Silicon Valley Conference. In this episode of the Angel Connect podcast show, we deal with the relationship of TI with investing. And Suhas Patil at the TiECon 2014 conference in Silicon Valley tells Hall Martin what the process is of procuring funding from the TI members, not TI itself, but the TI members, with angel investing. It's rather interesting, and so here, let's listen in to this particular discussion with Hall Martin and Suhas Patil.
This is Angel Connect at Silicon Valley TiECon 2014. I'm here with Suhas Patil. Suhas, tell us more about yourself and about the TiECon.
Well, I have been involved with TI from the very beginning. In fact, I was the first president. And with this angel investing, as it turns out, after having succeeded with Cirrus Logic, which went public and gained enough reputation, young people started approaching me for advice. And typically, angel investing, at least in my case, always began with mentoring someone. And investing was never idea. It became necessary in many of those early cases to provide them with initial support. And others who are in TI, particularly Conwell and others, joined me in those early seed rounds. And build the companies, and build the ideas, help the entrepreneurs do that, so that they would be ready, for being funded by the venture capitalists who kind of knew us and had the comfort, of some people who had done this thing before advising. That's how it started. The activity actually, in my case, already begun, as TI was being contemplated on, and the creation of TI only made that activity much stronger. And TI is a non-profit organization, so there is no money to be invested from TI. It is a mentoring organization. It's a passing on learning that we have learned through School of Hard Knocks to the next generation. And at that time, we felt this was the best thing we could do in giving back to the site. Now, once you're involved with the entrepreneurs, the good ones know how to persuade you to give them some money. And when you give some money, even if it is small amount, it invariably they need more support until professional people like venture capitalists come in and then they take over the act of finance.
There you go.
And the entrepreneurs, of course, need advice all the time. Now we do give advice and help people out. We don't have to be a mentor to somebody. The mentorship means that you spend much more time. So the angel investing is a little scheme on Silicon Valley. The early stage, the uncertain stage, typically, angels got very involved, in ideas that they felt excited about. The ideas really coming from the entrepreneur. Okay? This sorting, when things work very well with the VC or the venture capitalists, initial ideas are all over the landscape. Okay? Which ideas make business sense? Which ideas have legs? Sorting out is a very time-consuming process. So if the angels kind of do that and bring company to a stage where it is ready to be funded, it helps a lot. It reduces the risk. So that's how the relationship with the venture capital. And the venture capitalists who typically came in our deals already knew us. Either we had invested together or they had invested in our companies. Right? So that's how the cycle works.
So it worked very synergistically with the venture capitalists. I know some angels have difficulty with the venture capitalists, but it sounds like you had a very good and synergistic relationship with them.
Absolutely. Now, I think that after 9/11, venture capitalists kind of, stopped doing things. And, even the days when a lot of people from just business background became partner. opposed to earlier time, venture capitalists fundamentally, had much greater experience. So things have not been very cordial or nice with the venture capitalists, with the angel investors in the, let's say, last decade or maybe 15 years. And unfortunately, venture capitalists who where the funds are big, haven't been nice to each other either. Okay, right? So if the venture capitalists, who are invested in a company, are not nice to each other, I mean, the angel investor, which is kind of, somebody who played a bigger role before, what's he going to or she going to do, They get wiped out, and then you have these wipe-out rounds and so on. It sours that relationship, and the contribution made by the angel investor gets lost. So the angel investing is the highest risk money, and it pays off only when it goes smoothly.
Well, can you tell us about one of your favorite angel investing experiences where maybe it did go smoothly and it did well?
Well, firstly, none of the startups ever go truly smoothly. If you think it will just smoothly happen, I don't think you have gotten the reality straight. Okay? So my very first angel investment did become successful, went public, and but it was fraught with a lot of difficulties. Okay? So I like the entrepreneurs, I like the problem they were working on. Essentially, all these security software VC, they had those ideas of did very, very well. Then they finally got bought out by a company. Now the investing started. They were one of the first ones to be introduced as entrepreneurs in one of the TiECons, and people participated. And interestingly enough, some of the few instances was they had a product, software product. They could go to computer society meetings and sell to 30% of the audience. The VCs weren't quite coming. Marketing guys who came in externals wanted $500,000 to even begin marketing, and said, where's the money going to come from unless the VCs come? So there was a very tight period. Okay? So the company decided, we just go out there anywhere the computer people meet and sell. Interestingly enough, that was sufficiently successful and then drew the attention of the venture capitalists who finally came in. And after that, within 18 months, or actually maybe 2 years, they actually went public. So once the money came in, investment started, everything was ready, and it had a very fine outcome.
That's right. And when you have many choices of entrepreneurs to support or to mentor, how do you choose the ones that you want to put time into versus those that you don't?
The first requirement of an entrepreneur to be recognized as somebody you spend time with. Single meeting is no problem. Okay, somebody says, give me more time. They need to stand up in the crowd. If an entrepreneur, there's lots of people vying for your attention. If they don't stand up in the crowd, there's no chance they have of selling against all the competition. So that's one of the very interesting, you kind of say, do these people stand out? Okay? Then entrepreneurs come with good ideas. And they're all valid ideas. Okay? But only some ideas make business. Right? Means if you are a large company, you have much bigger choice on good ideas being turned into a revenue stream. But as an entrepreneur, not all good ideas make good business. So you have to kind of pick ideas, which have much greater strength or of maybe more legs to go forward. Or today it is a stream, and tomorrow it's a river. Okay. Like that.
Yeah, I understand. Great. That's a good point. What do you see as TiE's movement in angel investing? They've been mentoring for many years, but now they're doing more and more angel investing. How do you see that going?
Well, firstly, TiE does not do angel investing. TiE does not have any money.
It's the TiE members that do this.
The TiE members do that, and it used to be, sort of things that happened, and TiE had no part in it. And you get people together. However, There's a lot of desire and a request on part of the entrepreneur to have more formal forum in which they can present their case. And for two reasons. One is, if you had an organization of people who give back in the way of getting these guys prepared for the presentation, that itself is a contribution, right? How to prepare, what is relevant, what is not, and through that channel you're passing on knowledge about all the steps you need to take, how to think to go make a successful business, and a pitch that could attract a VC. So they get to make this presentation, and they have won just by having to do that, whether they raise the money there or not. So once they come out there, there's this angels, whoever chooses to come there, okay, they're asking these guys questions. So there's another kind of reality check for them, and perhaps few of them, draw enough attention that they follow on meetings, and then it results in seed funding of them or introduction to VC. Right? So this becomes a very valid forum for meeting the broad objectives of fostering entrepreneurship in TiE. That's what.
That's great. That's great. What advice you have to an angel group that's just starting up, a TiE chapter that wants to do angel investing? What would you advise them on before they go down that path?
As a starting angel group, angel investing.
It's probably an angel investing where they want to come together, and there's many forms. Some are very structured, some are very informal, but they want to start doing this in some way or another.
Well, if it is a group, and there needs to be a structured a process. Right? It serves both as a filter, but also it's one thing to, when you do ad hoc, you cannot deal with very many people, or you cannot service very many people. You organize, everybody knows how to go about it, and a lot more people a lot more angels can participate. Okay, the biggest danger the angel investors have to look at is what I spoke about it earlier. Okay? Entrepreneurs come with lots of ideas. Okay? Most of them are sort of, that's useful. Oh, we want to have this kind of service, or this kind of software, this kind of product. Yes, if it was there, maybe it can be used by me or somebody. But, set the threshold of how good it must be higher than. It is too easy to, because you have a friendly interface to get talked into supporting somebody. And so entrepreneurs kind of say, how come, even the VC don't give money, even, you are kind of talking with me, not giving money. Don't fall for any of that, because in the end, it's not only your today's money. You put some money today, you'll be giving 3 to 4 times that much money over time, right? So when it comes to money, it really is the investor who must make the investor must make a wise decision, because it's a long-term commitment, whether you speak or not. I mean, when you talk or not, a long-term commitment. So that's one very, very important thing. All people, so once entrepreneurship becomes such a sort of widely appreciated thing, people say, I want to be an entrepreneur. So you got to look at the personal characteristics of the person. And also, in order to sort of increase the effect of it, you got to make sure that team is capable of doing that task. That means, now it all depends on what task. Okay, some things are very difficult. In that case, you need the strength. You may need the education, or you may need the experience, or the team may have to be very, very strong, because idea may be greatest. But if the strength if the lineup in a football is not there, you're not going to win that game. Okay, right? So then again, there are crazy young guys who come and, you say, oh gosh, I can see the passion. I also see, he's got, hand on his pulse, and typically it's marketing. So it's like Sabir Bhatia, he presented at TiE in the beginning, and, he said he was going to give email free. Okay. And, when one of the first questions I asked, that's an interesting idea. How are you going to make money? Okay. So he says, I think there is an opportunity to make enough money from advertisement. I said, this young guy, and he was only in his 20s, I think he's got something. He's got a marketing sense very different from the other guys, right? Well, he succeeded.
He had something.
He had something.
He had something. And it's sometimes hard to tell who really has something and who is just making a good pitch.
Yeah. So the angel investor has to learn the art of making assessment, just like the venture capitalist does. He's got bigger task because he's earlier stage. Okay? And to the extent that the angel knows about the subject or adjoining subject, okay, or has an interest in it, helps.
Certainly, you have to understand the space, and not just the entrepreneur, but the investors need to be able to understand what the segment's all about. And that's a challenge for some of the angel groups, is they tend to be generalists. They know their business very well, but what's being presented to them is not in their area of expertise.
Yeah, somebody comes to me and says, okay, I got this financial services. I mean, the greatest ideas, since slice of bread, and I'll give you, please invest, I'll give you a great deal. I said, excuse me, I don't have any clue on how those systems work, okay? And I'm the wrong person. And at that point, I will say, you know what? I have a friend who knows everything about that domain, okay? Maybe you should see him. Then the entrepreneur say, can you please send him an email on my behalf so that when I call, he actually takes my call.
Right.
And that's what.
Well, that's a good function of the angel investor, connecting people with the right people. And I'm sure you've done quite a bit of that yourself.
Yeah, I think that happens more often than investing itself.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot more mentorship going on than investing at the end of the day. That's just where the entrepreneurs are. They're not ready for funding. Most people are not ready for funding when they first approach the investor. It's interesting to see who gets to that place and who does not as well.
Another very interesting thing about angel investing, that's when a group comes together, that it is often too much to pull it off alone. Okay? So the successful angel investing that we've done here, one of us who kind of is strong, gets discovers, starts spending some time, and then gets others involved. So it becomes in the actual investing a small group. The very first time any money is given, we don't do it alone. We do it together, And then, maybe there is another stage of round where you expand, so that there is even in the angel, it helps to have a base. Even though each one is acting on their own, but there is a base. So without the base, okay, if you have a very good working arrangement or relationship with VCs, they will recognize your contribution, and in doing the round, there will be a step up so that your risk taking has been rewarded. Okay? If you don't have the strength, unfortunately, many capitalists will not, recognize, and you end up financially losing. So it's good, you're trying to help everything, but you do need to have strength, so that, venture capitalist delays the actual investment. The company, it doesn't have to get on its knees.
Well, the more stability you have, the more you can wait out the time it takes to do all of this.
And you tell the entrepreneur, nothing like keeping the lights on by the money that the customer gives.
Well, someone once said, revenue solves all problems. Enough, then you can overcome the problems. That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Did you have any final parting words for the listeners of this podcast?
Best of angel investing.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Angel Connect at TiECon Silicon Valley 2014. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.